Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Mouseketeer known as Stevie, and beside me is my co-host, the all-knowing crown jewel of Disney fandom, Cameron. We are just two dads raised on the mouse, here to give you tips, tricks, news, and overall entertainment for all things Disney. So turn us up in your pumpkin carriage, or maybe you're watching us on a magic mirror. But either way, we invite you to be our guest for an episode of Dadventures Around the Kingdom. Welcome back, everybody. We are here again with a special episode of Dadventures Around the Kingdom. We're calling this Ears on Main Street because we have our man Cam back from the happiest place on earth. Cam, how does it feel to be back?
This is going to come shocking to you. I'm happy I'm back. And I think I've prefaced this before. This was my first trip without my family. It was like me going solo. I did go with my fellow travel agents from Remembering Vacations, so that was cool. But like as far as like family, friends, stuff like that, like direct friends, was going solo. So I was very happy to be back with my wife and my child. But normally I'm super depressed leaving Disney. It's this weird world where I'm like, I am sad I'm not in Disney. Like today we're recording this on Sunday, August 3rd. So I've officially been back for a week. Well, technically at the time of this recording, a week from right now. I didn't know if I was even getting a flight back to Massachusetts because of some weather issues that were happening in the New York, Pennsylvania area. But I am sad I'm there. I was looking through pictures and videos this afternoon, and I was like, oh man, like kind of wish I had a Dole Whip right now. Kind of wish I was on a Skyliner. That would have been cool. The only thing I would have changed is with my wife and my daughter. But no, it was a great time. Awesome to be in Florida. A very different trip than what I've experienced the last couple times where I've gone. The last 3 trips I've been on to Disney have been with my wife and my daughter. Everything before that has always been either with my wife or with my wife and my parents. So a very different trip, but kind of cool at the same time. Whereas like, it really hurt missing my daughter and my wife. Like there were times I was watching like fireworks, stuff like that. And you had, I'll say this a little bit later, but you had Happily Ever After. And I was like sitting there, like silently crying on a boat. So I'm like, oh, I wish Kylie and Lisa were here. But it was cool to just like, for the first time ever, like do Disney, do whatever I want. I don't have to ask anybody, hey, are you cool doing this? Or do you want to stop for lunch? I just got to do what I want to if I want to hold a bathroom break because I was like, let me hit one more ride. I could do that. So that was a very new territory and very weird for me, but it was interesting, I would say.
Yeah, I mean that is one thing that I would want to ask. Like, because like you said, you've never really gone to Disney by yourself. I don't know if you've ever traveled in general by yourself, but like how different does it feel to like, really be unchained and be able to, whether it's sightseeing and stuff like that. 'Cause I mean, and this is really not just for Disney, but just for like anywhere. Like, I don't know if you've ever traveled alone before, like out of state.
Yeah. The only thing I can kind of compare it to is I went like on a study tour to Costa Rica when I was in college, but like I didn't know the other classmates. I like grew to know them, became really good friends with my classmates on that trip, but like I didn't know them. But I wouldn't say that was alone either, because like, yeah, I went on with a travel agency for this trip, but like we were all in separate hotels. Like I didn't know any of these people from a hole in the wall. We didn't have any real connection besides being part of the travel agency. Whereas like the other kids, like, hey, at least we're all taking the same like class together, I guess. So I guess it's kind of similar.
Yeah,
but even with that, it's like
school. Yeah.
Even with that, like we were sharing hotel rooms. So I was like bunking up with 2 of the other guys, kind of thing, in the same hotel room. This was like, no, when we were done with activities for the day, like I just went to a hotel room by myself, and I've never really done that before. The only other times I've like traveled by myself has been to like go visit my friend in DC. But again, that was going to meet her there, kind of thing. So like I took an airplane by myself, but the rest, like I stayed with her and her fiance at her apartment, kind of thing. So like it wasn't crazy, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like truly by myself. This is the first time I think that I've like gone to. No, I'm lying. I went to Portland, Oregon for a conference. But like even that, like I knew the people I was going with. Like there was coworkers I went with. We stayed in different hotels and stuff like that. But like I went with coworkers, so I knew somebody there. Yes, I worked with these people in the travel agency, but I never met some of them before in person. So it did feel a lot different where it was by myself. Because even with that conference I went to, I was going to the same conference as everybody else. When I went to my Epcot day, I went to the Epcot day by myself until I met up with everybody else later that night, kind of thing. So yeah, this is my first real solo experience, I would say. The only one that would come close is when I went to Portland, Oregon a couple years ago for a conference. But like even then, I knew people better there than I did on this trip here.
Yeah, I mean, like I know, like I actually end up because of the nature of my job, I do a lot of traveling alone. So for the past 2 years, I have had a few trips here and there where I've gotten to fly internationally by myself. So I'm flying by myself to France, by myself to Amsterdam, by myself to, Germany, and I don't have really anybody until I get to, a specific location. Like, oh, I've
Yeah.
made it to the office, and so now, my business trip has really begun. But yeah, I know how it feels. Like it's such a weird feeling, and I know you missed, your wife, you missed your daughter. Was there any part of you that kind of was in shock of like, I can just get up and go. I'm at Disney. I can just go. I don't have to, get the diaper bag ready. I don't have to, hey dad, you guys ready to go? Like rope drop starts in a bit. Like what did that feel like?
Stevie, let's pretend nobody's listening to this right now. Having gone 3 trips to Disney, having to worry about a diaper bag, a stroller, that is the only thing I will confidently say positively wise. Getting on a bus with nothing but my backpack with my drinks to go to a park or grabbing a lift without holding the stroller, trying to like fight for room on a bus. Oh my God. That
not
was
not
kind of nice.
not having to
Not
share like your snacks or anything.
It wasn't nice enough for me to be like, yeah, that was way better than going with my daughter. I would hold that stroller 50 million times out of 50 million times, but it was definitely weird to be like, oh yeah, I don't have to either try to like buckle my daughter in while she's squirming to get out of the stroller, or just like my daughter's walking while I'm pushing an empty stroller with 50 million bags. Like, no, it's literally just me, my backpack, and just, am I ready to go? Okay, let's go. Whenever I want to, kind of thing. That was kind of nice. But again, I wouldn't trade bring my daughter
Yeah.
or my wife for the world. But that was the couple times I didn't have to, like, I saw the poor guys with like the double strollers, like trying to hold up the railing, trying not to bump into people. I was like, I was you in March, you poor bastard. But at the end of the day, I was also
Yeah.
like, no, you're having a better time than I am, because like you're with your kids, and I'm just homesick a little bit, even though I'm at my favorite place in the world. It's my
Yeah.
favorite place in the world when I'm with my favorite people in the world. So
Yeah, I feel like I would have had like that like phantom feeling. Like I probably would have sat down, eaten a snack, and, you just kind of people watch for a sec, and then I would have felt like, wait, where did I put my diaper bag? Where did I put? Damn it, where did like and just like started freaking out for a second, like I'm forgetting something, and then like it would hit me like, oh wait, I'm by myself, or standing somewhere and thinking like, yeah, I'm just waiting for my wife to get out of the baby changing room.
yeah,
Wait, no, I'm not waiting for any. What am I doing here?
yeah,
So
it's literally just, do I have to go pee? Yeah, but I can hold it. I don't have to like worry about like a daughter with like a full diaper. No, I could just do whatever I want. So like that was it was, like I said, I feel weird saying it. Like it was cool, but like again, I'm saying it's cool with the caveat. I would rather the opposite, having 50 diaper bags, all this other stuff with me, right?
yeah,
Um, but it was interesting because like everything that I was trying to do, if something didn't go the way I wanted to, it was on me. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
for me, like when I'm with my daughter, my wife, like if I don't do something that I really want to do, it for me, it's not the end of the world, because like I understand things happen, right? Like my daughter needs a nap, my wife might need a break, or I might need a break, whatever. Like this is, everything's in my hands, so like I'm not worried about like messing up anybody else's vacation too. Like if my wife really wants to do something else, like I need to sit down for 10 minutes, and when we miss like a prime opportunity to go on a ride, like I would have felt bad. I only had myself to blame. So like if I didn't get to do anything, fully fell on my shoulders, kind of thing, if that makes sense.
yeah. So I mean, I feel like it's probably, yeah, like a weight kind of lifted. Like I'm in complete control of what I can and cannot do while
I
I'm
feel like I'm
here.
gonna try not to step on a mine right now, like how I'm explaining this. I did have fun. I missed my wife and kids, or my wife and daughter. That's it. But
Yeah,
I guess I can talk about some things I did, because I did
yeah.
have some
So
fun.
we'll start because you were there for, so how many days was it again?
So I left on Wednesday. We'll talk about that as show to get to Disney.
Yeah.
I left on Wednesday night, and I left Sunday evening. So I was there for Thursday, Friday, 3 full days, and then a good chunk of Sunday. Friday, I was in Disney World proper for maybe 2 hours and 20 minutes. I was in Disney World property for 2 hours and 20 minutes on that Wednesday. But Wednesday was not fun. So Wednesday my flight was supposed to leave at 1:50, and I was playing. I'm one of those people. I'm fine sitting and waiting at the airport to get there early. I do not want to miss my flight, like especially going to Disney. I'm not missing that. So I was planning to leave at 10:30 in the morning, which I know is kind of early, but I was going to take the lift to Logan Express, which is a bus service basically that brings you to the airport, so I didn't have to park or anything like that there. Was going to leave at 10:30 so I could be on time for my, I think, gate, like, boarding was like 1:10 or something like that. So again, I was going to give myself plenty of time. I know that in advance, get lunch, all that good stuff. Well, 10:15, right before I'm about to like order the lift, 3-hour delay. And I'm looking like, what the heck? Weather is happening. Like, I haven't heard anything bad weather-wise. Like, what's going on? So I'm looking to see, because you can look up, where's my plane now? My plane says it's on time leaving Fort Lauderdale. So, and it's like a later flight. I was like, okay, so that means my original plane is completely out of commission, because it's not like my flight was delayed coming into Boston. My flight's staying on time. That means they switched the plane. So I still got there because they tell you, like, we're going to try to get you earlier. And I didn't believe them, but like, God forbid I don't show up there. And because I've had that happen before. Like, I have this like vivid memory when I was in high school. I graduated high school. I went with my buddy to Disney. We got told like right before we were about to go to the airport, it was going to be a 2.5-hour delay, became a 4-hour delay. And then the plane was only a 30 and it ended up being only a 30-minute delay because they got a plane. So the plane was basically like me, my buddy, and maybe 20 other people. Everyone else just assumed the plane was going to be delayed for 4 hours. So they didn't show up, and the plane ended up only being like 20-30 minutes delayed from the original like departure time. So I've always like known, like, hey, God forbid I'm not going to be the person that doesn't do this kind of thing. So I know Logan Airport Terminal C like the back of my hand because I get antsy. So I got lunch at the airport, and I was just doing laps until my flight left around like 5 o'clock or so. Flight was fine. We landed. Then we were on the tarmac for like an hour, 15 minutes because there was a plane in front of us in our gate that just wouldn't leave. So by the time I got to Disney, I got to the Animal Kingdom Lodge, which was where I was staying. Hot food services closes at 10. At 9:53, I was getting my pulled pork sandwich before they closed off hot food services because I was starving. I hadn't eaten anything since 12. So getting to Disney wasn't great, but it was cool. I got to see a giraffe outside my room. If you look at my Magical Vacations by Cam Instagram, you'll see I freaked out. I was doing like a room tour just to show what a room looked like at Animal Kingdom Lodge. And I was like, oh, look outside. This is where animals would be. I'm not going to see anything. And all of a sudden I freaked out because there's a giraffe that wasn't there. Because this, little people know, this was the second time I tried making the video. The first time I called it the wrong room. I said it was a park or a standard view when really it's a Savannah view. And it wasn't an animal when I looked outside there earlier. So I was like, okay, let me run this back. So I would do the video like 5 minutes later and expecting to be like, oh yeah, there's no animal because there wasn't one 5 minutes ago. No, a freaking giraffe just outside my room. So that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So that was my Wednesday. Thursday, I crushed Epcot. So I knew I had to leave Epcot around like 1 or 2 o'clock because I had my first event for Remembering Vacations, which I'll talk about a little bit, but I got a lot done. So I was there for park opening. Opening for Resort Guest was at 8:30. I was in the park at 7:50. Around 7:55, they let guests check in and go to wherever they wanted to, but the lines didn't open up till or the rides didn't open up till 8:30. So I was in line for Guardians by like 8:02, but the doors into Guardians didn't open up till 8:30. Once they did, I was in the second pre-show room. Like, that's how quickly I got in to Guardians of the Galaxy. That I was in the second pre-show rotation with oh my god, what's his name from from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Terry Crews,
thank you. Terry Crews. I was thinking Apollo Creed, which is a wrestler, not Apollo.
Apollo Creed, the boxer.
I'm thinking of a wrestler, Apollo something, who looks like him, and there's been lawsuits. Regardless, not Apollo Creed. I know who Apollo Creed is. Anyway, got to do Guardians. Got September. Amazing. That was my first time getting September. That was really cool.
Isn't it so much better with September?
It's the best. And later that day, I got it. Went on Guardians the second time, got it again. So I was able to do Guardians once on the standby.
Twice.
I was able to do it once on standby with early access for Resort Guests, and then I did it again with Lightning Lane. Both got September. Freaking amazing. Bought my Guardians t-shirt. Love it. Can't wait. Love that ride.
Nice.
After Guardians, I went across the way in World Discovery to Test Track, which Test Track 3.0, it's not officially called 3.0, but it's the third iteration of Test Track. So I'm going to refer to it as Test Track 3.0.
Yeah, fans call it 3.0. They won't call it, but everybody else is calling it 3.0.
It's just the third iteration, third theming of it. Since it's been installed in Epcot. It opened up on the Tuesday before my trip. I was there on Thursday. So I was on there for the third day of Test Track 3.0 since it was open to the full public, besides like cast previews and Disney Vacation Club previews, all that stuff. Rode it twice on single wire line, waited maybe 30 minutes between both of those. If that, the first one I walked right on, the second one I had to wait a little bit.
Okay.
So good, man. I loved Test Track when I was a kid. Test Track 1.0 was one of my favorite rides, and they did this whole like Tron BS that I thought was stupid. It like the theming made no sense. I still like the first iteration where you're a test crash dummy the best, but this one made me love the ride again. I will put this up in my top echelon of rides now. Epcot is so back with this new version of Test Track. I freaking loved it. And I think I posted something about that on our Instagram as well. But that was really fun.
Perfect.
So I was able to do that. That was something new to me that I got to do, but I just crushed it, man. I did 2 rides on that, 2 rides on Guardians. I got to do Figment. I did Soarin'. I did Living in the Land. I got lunch in Mexico. Grand Fiesta Tour was open, which it wasn't open my last trip. And I love that ride. And it's not even that it's a great ride. I just love my boy Donald Duck, so I got to do that. I hit a lightning lane on Frozen, so I got to do that, which was really cool. And then I also talking about I don't know if we've released this episode yet, but in a future episode, we're going to talk about our must-dos at Epcot and Hollywood Studios. So that hasn't come out yet.
Yep.
Spoiler, one of them might be meeting Mickey Mouse at Epcot because of his costume there. And I did get to do that. I met Mickey, I met Minnie, and it's usually Goofy, but it was Pluto this time, which was still cool. So I got to meet them. And then I went through Moana's Journey of Water, inspired by Moana. And honestly, I did that. That made me sad because that's like my daughter loves that. She's 2. She loves the water elements there. But secretly, I did that because I knew there was a giant bathroom there that had like a single lock for like it wasn't like a handicap bathroom. It was like a personal bathroom kind of thing. So you could like change into bathing suits and stuff. So I purposely went through that attraction so I could like wipe myself down, like all the sweat I'd acquired that morning and throughout the afternoon, to then get changed.
Let me write that down because that is a good tip.
Yeah, if you need to like, even for like changing for yourself, like if you want to get your kid into a bathing suit so they can experience the full Moana thing without getting like the regular clothes wet, there's a huge bathroom like halfway through. So I knew that going in. So I went in there, got freshened up, changed, and then went to my first Remembering Vacations event, which we'll talk about a little bit. But like between 8 a.m. when I entered the park, and like even though I couldn't get on my first ride till 8:30, till about 1:30 when I left, I just crushed Epcot, dude. The only thing I didn't really get, I say crush, but I didn't get to do much of World Showcase. The only 2 countries I made it to was Mexico and Norway. Would have loved to have done Ratatouille. Would have loved to have gotten my shaved ice in Japan. There's only so much you can do in 4.5, 5 hours, right? But for those 5 hours, I got on every e-ticket attraction besides Remy. Like,
yeah,
unbelievable. And I did multiple twice. I did Guardians twice, Test Track twice. Like, just crushed Epcot. It was great.
Yeah, I remember I was following you. Unfortunately, while at work, I was following you on Instagram, and I was like, Cam is hauling ass. He is loving life.
And that's part of it, right? Is like being by myself. I wasn't carrying a stroller. I could zip and zap through wherever I want to go. I could shoot. Like I went on Test Track once, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go do something else." I was like, "No, Cameron Ramos wants to do Test Track again." So I just right back on it again. Which is not to say that people wouldn't have wanted to do that, but yeah, like I did it. Like I'm looking at my notes right now because I was taking notes throughout the day. From 8:30 to 10:15, I had done Guardians once, Test Track twice, and Soarin'. Like 3 of the biggest rides there, I would say, besides Frozen and Remy's. Like that was done by 10:15. I got lunch during that time. I got tacos in Mexico, so that was great. And yeah,
isn't there a festival going on there at this time, or is there no festival at the moment?
This is one of those dead periods where there's no festival, and had there been a festival, that would have been my priority more than anything. Like it would have been Guardians, Test Track. I probably would never have even touched I wouldn't have touched any of those rides. I would have gone around the countries for the festival. So that's one thing. But again, that's a calculated thing, right? Whereas like I didn't spend time in the countries because I wanted to focus more on the rides. Where if there was a festival, which for those that don't know, a festival is like They'll do Festival of the Arts, Festival of the Holidays, Food and Wine Festival, Flower and Garden Festival, which is just different events where Disney has different activities or things. So like a Festival of the Arts, they have all these beautiful murals and paintings and art sessions. There's these cool chalk art, and then it's filled with different festival booths with different food items, and everything basically revolves around food plus something. So for Festival of the Arts, it's the art. For Flower and Garden Festivals, you got the beautiful flowers and topiaries, and then food. Food and Wine is just straight up food bonanza. Festival of the Holidays is food plus holiday traditions around the countries. But so no festival, unfortunately. Food and Wine starts later this month, I believe, in August. So just by a couple weeks. But yeah, no festival. After that, I headed over on the monorail to the Transportation Center, which then I transferred into a different monorail to get me to the Grand Floridian, which is where I met up with my Remembering Vacations family. Actually, I lied. Before I went to Grand Floridian, I decided, hey, I left Epcot way too early because I didn't have to be at Grand Floridian until 3. Stopped at Poly, got myself a Dole Whip. That was great. Went back to the monorail, met with my La Familia at Remembering Vacations. It's Remembering Coco theme, so we go Familia, all the stuff. Did a really cool photo session, got some really good professional pictures, had a wonderful dinner with everybody at 1900 Park Fair. So nice to meet all these people I've met with just basically on Zoom for the last almost year. Such good people, man. I love these people. It's cool to go to Disney with Disney people, and these people are all Disney people, so we're kin, one and the same. So it's so nice to get to meet them officially. And then we spent this awesome thing, this is going to be a must do for everyone, I think, going forward, is if you have a large enough group, for like, if you've never seen Happily Ever After at Magic Kingdom on Main Street, go see it on Main Street. After that, you're good. We did a private firework cruise. The firework cruisers are $500, and it's up to 10 people. And no matter if it's one person or 10 people, it's $500. So if you get 10 people, which is exactly what we had, that's $50 a person. That's a drop in the bucket. If it's just you and your wife,
not bad.
$500, depending on who you are, I'm not gonna say that is or isn't a lot of money because it depends on who you are, your financial situation. But like, that's a great proposal opportunity for $500. I'm throwing it out there right now. But it was $500. You got soft drinks and some snacks. Like I'm talking, like there was Mickey Rice Krispie treats. There was pretzels, like little things, nothing crazy, right? But you sat on a boat. They do a tour around the Seven Seas Lagoon, around Bay Lake, where you look at the hotel, stuff like that. And then they bring you right up in front of the Magic Kingdom. Well, outside the park, but on Seven Seas Lagoon. They pump the audio from Happily Ever After onto the boat. And yeah, you don't really see the projections on the boat, but you hear the music, you see all the fireworks, it's beautiful. And then they can just drop you off wherever you want on Seven Seas Lagoon. So a lot of people were staying at Bay Lake Tower and Contemporary. So the boat just dropped us off there. I was able to take a bus back from Magic Kingdom to my hotel. But it was, dude, for $50 a person, if you have 10 people, this is a must do. Like, if we ever go with you guys and my parents again, like, I'm not going to tell you guys to do this, but I'll ask if you guys want to, because we could easily split this and it'd be about a little over $50 for each person. Like, that's, in Disney terms, again, I know it can be a lot of money, so I want to be cognizant of that for some people, but like, that's a steal Disney-wise for a private boat, especially you don't have to deal with being packed like sardines with people. You're on a boat with people you love. It was great. It was a great time.
Yeah, I'm going to write that down too, because you pull something like that out on date night, you are big stepping like Scrooge McDuck. Like that is,
honestly,
a big baller move to be like, yeah, we're gonna VIP the fireworks right now. Lakeside, like that sounds dope.
And like I said, like the only thing that was like a little bit of hassle is like, so we got dropped off at the Contemporary because, like I said, a lot of people were staying there. So like getting back to the Animal Kingdom Lodge, I could either take a lift but like honestly, it was a 5-minute walk from Contemporary to the bus stations at Magic Kingdom. So yeah, I was going up against the people leaving Magic Kingdom. But one thing to remember is currently right now, obviously, whenever you listen to this recording in the future, I don't know what the schedule is, but 9 o'clock was the Starlight Parade, 10 o'clock was fireworks, and then there's another parade at 11. So the crowds weren't that bad getting out of there after the 10 o'clock fireworks because a lot of people were staying for the 11 o'clock parade. So like, I literally walked onto a bus at the Animal Kingdom spot, got me back to my hotel. It was great. So like, if you're not staying at one of the Magic Kingdom resorts that's on the monorail line that has the boat stop that you can just get off at, it's not the end of the world. Just tell the driver you want to get off at the Contemporary, walk to the buses, and go from there and enjoy the rest of your night. It was great.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. I mean, I know, especially, and this is another point of like you being there by yourself. Sometimes it's just nice to just have that little stroll around Disney when it's, maybe a little quiet, and that walk to the buses. I mean, I know Katie and I have done that like before Jazz was born, times that we went just walking through Disney Springs or something, and it's just it's so peaceful, it's so nice. There's really not a lot of people going like running around, and it is just nice to listen to the ambient Disney music playing, and it's just super relaxing.
Absolutely, dude. It was great. Yeah, so that was my first full day there. I'm gonna kind of speed up a little bit just because I don't want to take a whole while. Friday was a base air classroom day. It was so cool. Shout out to Jill and Chelsea from Memory Vacations. They're the women that own the company. Just an unbelievable training. Every dollar I put towards this training experience for myself to become a better travel agent, worth every penny. Really, really cool. Hope I get the opportunity to go again next year when it's in Disneyland, which would be kind of cool. But it was fantastic. So that was most of my day. It was a training day. After training, I did just hop over to Disney Springs because my goal was to do that Wednesday night when I landed there because I thought I was landing at 5, didn't land until almost 9 o'clock. So I went to Disney Springs, got myself a seat at a bar at Homecoming, which is my favorite restaurant on Disney property. I was like, hey, do you have a table? I saw there's no reservations. They're like, you can either wait 20 minutes or I have one seat at the bar right now if you want. I was like, thank you. I will take that. I'm by myself. Got my country fried steak. It was great. Went back to my room for a little bit.
Steak.
Oh, dude, it's fantastic.
I don't think I've ever had country fried steak before.
Life changing. We're gonna get the country fried steaks one day. Went to my room for a little bit. Went back to the Poly because the other travel agents were doing a monorail call. I only went to one stop. I went to the Walu Walu, I believe it's called bar at the new Island Tower at the Poly, which is the new DVC tower that they have there. Cool little bar. I just got a Blue Moon, but it was pretty cool. And everybody else went on their way to Grand Floridian. I went back to Disney Springs to see Fantastic Four, which we did a review of. Listen to that episode. Fantastic movie. If you're asking me, don't ask Stevie. The next day, I woke up bright and early for Epic Universe. I'm going to pause. I'm not even going to talk about Epic Universe in the episode because that's going to be a whole nother episode coming out next week about that awesomeness of a day. And then Sunday was a nice little breakfast with the Remember Vacation travel agents. They did little superlatives, which was really cool. I fortunately, so Jill and Chelsea, I'm sorry for listening to this. I don't have my certificate anymore. It got just drenched at the Animal Kingdom Lodge, and I had to throw it out because it literally just got drenched in my backpack, and I'm so sad. I think it was like most likely a park hop or best park hopper or something like that. I was like, yeah, your boy got that. Got that on lock. Really mad. I really wanted another certificate because I really wanted to hang that up on my wall because I thought it was funny. But it was nice to see everybody again, just say hello because they all did the park date on Saturday while I skipped that because I was at Epic. But yeah, it was nice to see everybody. And then I took a walk over from the boardwalk to the Hollywood Studios. I got to do the 2 new shows there. So I did the new Little Mermaid show. It was fine. It was good. The music was good. I thought the puppetry was great. I'm a big, I like puppets like that kind of stuff, like big scale puppets like Muppets and all that stuff. I thought that was great. King Triton's voice was whack. And I was really sad. I was like, how did I know this voice? And somebody whispered, it's Jim Cummings. I was like, oh, that's my boy. That's the guy who plays Pooh, Tigger, all those guys. I was like, oh, I love Jim Cummings. He did not do good on that one. It kind of took me out a little bit. But it's a really cool mix of like animation, like on the screen with live performing actors and puppets and lights and stuff like that. It was way better than the first one. But it was really cool. And it was just interesting being there because that whole area, while I was in Disney, got announced that Star Wars launch bay in the back of it, that whole area is going to get reimagined to like the magic of Disney animation. So excited for that to come next year. I cannot wait to go back because I remember that when that was an animation studio. Like I think I've told on this podcast, I remember being in that old Star Wars launch bay. It used to be called, I think it was called the Magic Disney Animation, something like that. And I remember seeing this little alien getting drawn. I was like, that guy's cool. That little alien ended up being Stitch. I saw Lilo and Stitch being drawn at Hollywood Studios, formerly MGM Studios.
That's
so awesome. The fact that I got to see that movie being made there with my own 2 eyes when I was a little kid, I still have that vivid memory. And now they're turning that area back into celebrating the animation of Disney. Very excited for that. So that was cool. Other show I did was the new Villains Unhappily Ever After show. That was fantastic. My one caveat for this is do not sit up front. I got there a little bit late, so I just had to get wherever I could. And I was like, oh, that's weird. There's a lot of front seats empty. So I sat up front. It was nice to see the characters, but it's very screen heavy where they use like these different like screens that look like magic mirrors where different villains pop up.
Okay.
And if I had sat further back, I would have been able to enjoy that more. I didn't really get to because I was so up close. So I'm like, craning my head up to see like who's that villain up here kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because it was that high up, like basically above my head. So if you're gonna go to this, try to get there early and sit toward the back so you get that full view of the show, because the projection screening they use for it is really, really well done from what I could see. I ended up watching like a video POV of it afterwards to see what it looked like from far behind. I was like, damn, that's the view. But it was a great show. The music was great. Hopefully it stays for a little bit. I'm assuming it's going to be gone eventually once the Villains Land opens the Magic Kingdom, but that's probably going to be for 10 years. So I've known they did a couple different shows in this area in the past. I hope this one stays for a little bit, because I'll go back to it. It's very fun.
I did want to ask, 'cause I know I've been seeing a lot of stuff on social media. What has the construction look like? Because it seems like there's a lot of areas currently around Disney World that are under construction. They have the walls up. Did they have a lot of that at Hollywood Studios going on, or I don't think there's anything being currently built at Epcot, but I know there's a ton of stuff that seems like it's being turned over around Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
Like, is it a little like, does it turn you off at all? Like, how is that, like, seeing all that stuff?
So I love construction at Disney, because construction at Disney means something new is coming. So that never really turns me off. The only time it ever really turned me off was Epcot a few years ago, because they were doing too much construction at once, where you're like weaving and bopping out of things kind of thing. And at one point they shut out the whole middle of the park. And I was like, well, this is impossible to get around. But for the most part, construction doesn't bother me. I don't think there was anything going on at Epcot from what I remember. Hollywood Studios, I just mentioned the announcement of that Disney Animation Courtyard getting redone. They had literally announced that while I was there, so there was no walls up. The whole area was still up for grabs, kind of thing, because that's not getting shut down until later this year. Yeah. The only major construction is where the Muppets used to be in Pizza Rizzo and Mama Melrose, because that is going to be the whole Monsters Inc. land.
Yeah,
but it's not like it's like a land in the middle of the park. Like Muppets Courtyard was really like, if you're walking straight into Galaxy Edge, you had to take a left into that area.
Yep.
And it's not like you had to go through that area to get anywhere else. Like that Muppets Courtyard was just the Muppets, Pizza Rizzo, the store, and Mama Melrose. Well, all that shut down because of the Monsters Inc. So it wasn't like I was like, oh, well, that sucks. It takes a path for me to go somewhere else. It was just like, yeah, just pretend that's not there kind of thing. When I was there, I couldn't see much construction. I did see, like, I could see the Muppets building was still standing, and so was the store. And then later this week, since I've been back, that store has completely been demolished kind of thing. So you can't even see that. So it's quite cool because you can peek over and see what stuff was there. So I took a couple pictures over the wall, but no, it didn't bother me at all. Like there was nothing crazy because like I said, it wasn't like it was preventing me from going anywhere else because it was its own little corner. But again, I get excited with construction. It means something new is coming.
Yeah, that's always great.
That was my time at Disney. My last ride I did was Runaway Railway. I gotta be honest, I didn't enjoy it as much because at that point there was some bad weather happening in the New Jersey, Pennsylvania area, New York area. That flights were getting canceled. So like my coworker and like I said, Jill, who owns the company, I think it was our 5 o'clock flight to Boston got canceled at like 2. So my flight was at 8:55. I was like, well, there's no way my flight's going. So I was like, kind of like trying to see, could I switch my flight early to Monday morning so I don't have to go to the airport, or like, please let me get out of here today. Like I want to go see my wife, I want to see my daughter. I just didn't want to be abandoned at the airport. Like I was jealous of Jill because like, yeah, it sucked. She had to stay a whole extra day, but she knew that it wasn't like she was waiting at the airport and it got canceled. She like was still in Disney property. So she was able to have time to get a hotel, figure out plans. So I was like, I just want, if I'm going to get canceled and not fly out tonight, I just want to be able to know now so I can make that arrangement. So I'm not stressing at the airport when 50 other people are also more than that are trying to do the same thing. Never got canceled. Flight just kept getting delayed. I was very lucky we got out. So that was nice. Got back to my house at like 2 a.m. Monday morning. And here we are. But it was a great trip. And as much as it was like a trip to Disney, it was a learning experience. Like truly, like I know people are like a work trip to Disney. No, that was truly a work trip to Disney where I got to experience so much. And just again, shout out to Remember Vacations for allowing me the opportunity to go there with the other travel agents. It was so nice to meet everybody. I cannot wait to connect with everybody again in person one day.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it was awesome. You got to really like hone your skills by meeting your team and everything like that. One thing before we go that I definitely want to ask. This was a collection of travel agents that love Disney.
Mhm.
I'm sure you weren't the oldest one there. Did you, like, outside of the initial training that you were there specifically for, did you learn anything like Disney tips and tricks or interesting things from your other travel agent coworkers? Like things that you were like, I never actually thought of that. Or like some of these people that have probably been shockingly doing Disney a few more years than you have. Like, did you pick up on anything new while you were there?
As far as like Disney tips and tricks, Stevie, I probably did nothing that I can call off the top of my head, but like the learning experience I really got was like specifically like being a travel agent more, if that makes sense. Like not
Okay.
even like just like working on my business, how to get like better like quotes for people, being good on like staying on top of like deals and stuff like that. So I got more like because a lot more people are more experienced as travel agents than I am.
Okay.
I do think I have a lot of people. I'm as personally, maybe I'm really far off. Disney World wise, I'm at the same level as everybody else, if not like I'm not gonna say I'm better than them, but I know myself, so I don't know how much I learned Disney World tips and tricks wise
Okay.
with everybody else because like I that's my bread and butter. If I go
Yeah.
to Remember Vacations LED in Disneyland next year, I'm going to need to soak up their knowledge because I know nothing. I've been there once in 2003, and we have a lot of West Coast people that Disneyland was their park, and that was what was cool. Is a lot of people were Disneyland folks coming to Disney World sometimes for the first time in a long time or ever kind of thing. So I was able to impart my knowledge about Disney World to them. I'm going to need them times a million in Disneyland. But like, I think the
Yeah.
more tips and stuff I got was like just working on my business as a travel agent, if that makes sense, more than like better experiencing at Disney parks, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Did you guys ever have the age old debate of Disneyland versus Disney World? Because I know that seems like it's always something that with some people that comes up. Some say Disney World is just bigger, but that doesn't mean that it's better. And it's just like,
So
I
it's
always
funny,
find it funny to hear.
it's funny you say that. No, we didn't have that debate, but one of the fun games we did during the training was we all got randomly assigned a hotel. And we did like a March Madness bracket where you were that hotel's representative and you got a head start. Because, like I said, some people are familiar with the hotels and some people aren't because some people are Disneyland people, but it was Disney World hotel specific, all moderate or deluxe resorts, no values. And you got like 10, 15 minutes, whatever it was, to like do research about that hotel, look at the amenities, and then you randomly got paired up against another travel agent to say why your hotel was better than the other one. I personally quit the first round because I got the contemporary picked. And I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to pair the contemporary against anything? Like, I'll figure it out. Like, so I did some research. I was like, okay, the only thing I don't want to get right now, first round, is the Polynesian. Cause like that Riviera or Boardwalk, I can't go up there and say those are not better hotels than the contemporary. There's a lot of hotels that are better than contemporary, in my opinion, personally. But I was like,
Yeah.
I could float my way through this. Especially being a monorail stop, I could get through the first round. Well, lo and behold, one of the other travel agents, Brittany, she was up against me and she got Polly, and I was like, well, this is done. So I tried making my points, and then the second Brittany brought up, yeah, where else can you get a Dole Whip at a Disney hotel? I was like, yeah, no, you're right. Like that should win. Like that enough
The
that
Dole
all
Whip
you had to say
wins.
was a Dole Whip. Like I'm gonna like defend the A-frame. Like okay, a monorail goes through it. Who cares? Like I'm not a big fan of the contemporary resort.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't want to go against this poly. So we had those debates, which was really fun. The final two ended up being Wilderness Lodge versus Coronado Springs. And that was funny. Chris, who's another travel agent, I actually got into the company through him. He works with my dad in like real life. Not that this is not real life, but like in his day job, he works with my dad.
Mhm.
My dad's obviously a huge Disney fan too. That's how I'm a Disney fan. And my dad connected with Chris. Chris connected with me to get connected when Memory Vacations was starting, so I could get a job for them hopefully. So he was fighting hard for Coronado Springs. Which was very funny, but he ended up losing up to the Wilderness Lodge, so that was really funny. But those are the debates we had was hotel versus hotel. Like I said, I was like, yeah, no, you Dole Whip, like that wins. The stuff you can step out of your hotel room and get a Dole Whip, that should win every time. Why the Poly is one of the best resorts on Disney property.
This was like a convention of just like your kind of people. Like I can see why you
Yeah, like I want to
enjoyed
go
it.
back to Disney with these people so bad. They're awesome. They're really great, and I want to like introduce my wife and my daughter to them because they're just such nice, kind people. It was cool to do like the training experience with them where we were in the classroom, but then also like just fun experiences like getting to be on the boat cruise with everybody. And a lot of people, including myself, were getting emotional during Happily Ever After, and getting to go to 1900 Park Fair where we had dinner. I forgot to mention that, where we had the character buffet and just talk about people, their jobs outside of travel agency, their families, their kids, all that stuff. It was just so cool to get to meet everybody. And like we call each other like La Familia because again, it's Coco themed. But no, like I truly feel like it's like, oh no, these people are really great. So now when these like group chats happen about like questions, stuff like that, I find myself more like, oh, like I know this person. Let me reach out to them more. And not that I wasn't willing to be helpful before, just like,
Yep.
It's a different thing now that I have like a face to the name, and not even face to the name. It's like I have a connection to you because we went on this experience together. So it's been really, really fun.
Well, before we sign off, the last question that I'm going to ask you, where, in your personal opinion, would you say you can get the best Dole Whip?
They're all the same to me. Because here's the thing: if I'm getting a Dole Whip, like I know Dole Whip is now like a bunch of different flavors. For me, Dole Whip is straight up the pineapple, right? That's what it is for me. So like that's where I'm like, they're the same to me, no matter again them at the Poly or at Magic Kingdom. A Dole Whip is Dole Whip is Dole Whip. But I do understand. I think I know what you're asking because there are different flavors of Dole Whip now because we're calling everything a Dole Whip. I like the orange. The orange one that's at the orange. I forget what the stop is called at Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
My favorite is still a pineapple and vanilla twist though. And you can get that good at Poly or Magic Kingdom. So I don't have like a favorite place for that, but that's my favorite type of Dole Whip. That's the classic. That's the original. But there is like that orangish one at the Orange Bird stand it's called like the I Lava You float that they put. I think it's like a cherry soda or something like that. It's really freaking good. But I'm true that a Dole Whip is a Dole Whip is a Dole Whip. Pineapple, that's what makes a Dole Whip. So that's where that feels like a trick question. I know what you're asking about, but I'm stubborn and Dole Whip is pineapple in my head.
Yeah, I think for myself, I have to go with that the on the water spot at Disney Springs because I can always get a flight, and their flights are amazing.
Yeah.
But Cam, is there anything else that you want to bring up before we sign off for this week?
It was a great learning experience. Again, so thankful to Remember Vacation. I feel like I grew a million times fold as a travel agent. If you're looking to book your Disney vacation for you solo, with your family, your friends, whatever, like I would love it if you reached out to me. Booking a trip to me costs you literally, like I'm not saying that, like it sounds like a lie, but it costs you $0 The same thing you would pay to book yourself and have to go through the hassle, because booking a Disney vacation feels like it takes a PhD.
Yeah,
I got that PhD, baby. Like I'm good. Like I know Disney World like the back of my hand. I'd love the opportunity to help plan your trip, because here's something I'm going to do that other people aren't. Like if a deal comes up, I'm going to make sure to see if that deal apply to you, because I can always just rechange your booking, right? Like I can keep your dates, all your stuff that you want, but let me get you that better deal. Whereas like if you're booking yourself and a new deal comes out, one, you might not be aware of a new deal. Two, you might not be know how to apply it. Like I'm going to take care of that for you. We're going to get you the cheapest Disney option we can when we're there. And if there is no deals, then that happens, right? But a lot of times Disney throws deals out last minute. Sometimes after you book, I'm there to look to see what can I do. I've saved somebody $300 once, and I've saved somebody $30. That $30 goes a long way. That buys you a Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind T-shirt, right? So definitely use me if you'd like. Like I said, it is completely free to use me. Just reach out to me either on the Dadventures Around the Kingdom DMs. You can message us there, and I'll connect you with my business email or Magical Vacate by Cam. That's my Instagram. For my travel agency, reach out to me there. We can get connected via email, phone call, whatever. I would love to help book your trip. Stevie, I know I'm helping you guys book for your trip next May. And I'm excited to have that opportunity to work with you guys on that. So I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm so invigorated right now, and I want to help people book not just Disney, but Universal trips too. Stay tuned for next week's episode where I'm talking about my experience at Epic Universe, because I know that I got some tips for you, baby.
Nice.
But yeah, definitely reach out. I'd love to help you book this, because when I'm not in Disney, I'm thinking about Disney, and like literally helping book people's vacations to my favorite place in the world with their loved ones just brings me so much joy in the world. Like my wife, my daughter, and my family and friends bring me the most joy in the world. But underneath that, like activity wise, like my sports teams kind of stink right now. So right now it's helping people plan their perfect Disney vacation. So give me some joy in life, people.
Well, and so Cam, thank you so much for taking the long trudge to Disney World, getting us this information, coming back just a better travel agent to help so many people. For those listening, as Cam said, he is ready to be your Disney minion and get you the best trip possible. So make sure that you hit him up. But that is going to be all for this week. So I hope you guys all have a great rest of your week. Thank you for listening. As always, comment, review, share. And we're signing off. Keep it magical.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Dadventures Around the Kingdom. You can listen to the pod on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. You can also find us on our Instagram at Dadventures Around the Kingdom. If you have any ideas for future episode topics you'd like to hear, be sure to DM us on Instagram or email us at datkpod@gmail.com. Again, that's datkpod@gmail.com. If you want to follow our host Stevie on Instagram, you can do that at StevieJenko. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can also do that by following at Magical Vacays by Cam. That's my travel agency page. If you're interested in booking Walt Disney World or Disneyland vacation at no additional cost to you, feel free to DM me on there so we can definitely talk and I can get you a free, no obligation quote. Again, thanks for listening to Dadventures Around the Kingdom. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.